This is a review and recap of episode 11, Orville, New Dimensions. Season's almost over, sad face. So anyway, they yanked episode 10 out and moved it to season 3. That's the best I can figure from all my research. So this episode is, the recap is, it starts out with them playing a practical joke, and they put a piece of Yaphet in the pie, and Bortus ate it. So Yaphet had to go in there and get it with his tentacle. It was kind of a funny and a little gross. When you look at it in slow motion stills, it's a little gross. It was funnier in live. And This is a really good episode. I'd say it's top 4 episodes, top 4 or 5 of the 10 or 12 they've had. We'll get back more to that later. So she's yelling at them, "Are you doofuses, morons, or what? You didn't think about this before you did that practical joke? I'm putting a reprimand in your file." And meanwhile, Kelly's looking in the file, and she sees that Lamar is really smart. So she tells Ed about it. You know what? Lamar is really smart, and he's acting like he's not smart. So I think we should give him a chance with something real complicated, or something that requires responsibility, or some smart shit. Yeah, that's the one. And so Ed's like, "Well, if you really think so," and then bam, the ship hits some anomaly or something, and they get all fucked up, and people are freaking out. What's going on? What's happening? So they figure it out. There's I don't know what the hell it is, but it's another section of space that they entered that's 2-dimensional, and they're 3-dimensional, of course, and 2-dimensional is like flat, but 3-dimensional is 3D, for example. So she assigns Lamar and Isaac to go figure it out, and they see the kids, and then Isaac's like, "You guys are tiny and useless," but he says it way funnier. I can't remember exactly what he says. And he's like, "Damn, why don't you just give him a wedgie and put him in the locker?" And meanwhile, Yaphet is upset because he was next in line for the engineer job. Oh, that kind of chubby engineer, he went to go do something. I guess he left, and Yaphet was next to be chief engineer, and they're probably going to give it to Lamar. So, of course, Yaphet's getting shitted on, basically, and he makes a big deal out of it here in a minute. Let's see here. So Ed and Kelly are talking, and she's like, "Don't worry, I think Lamar can really handle it, and trust me." And she says some crack, and it makes Ed think that she helped him get him the captain's job. So he goes to the Admiral, and he's like, "No, she only nudged me. You deserve it. We know you can handle it." So now Ed Mercer is doubting himself, which kind of sucks. And Isaac and Lamar are working on the problem of that rift in space, and he's going to be able to figure it out. Lamar figures out some way to put a shield around the ship. That's not yet. This ship shows up with that alien dude. That's what it is. They think she's going, "Why do you act stupid?" Okay, so there's the ship that shows up, and this guy's real like, "Fuck you, humans. I'm going to do whatever I want. You don't control me. You're not my commander." And Ed Mercer's telling him it's dangerous. Don't go in there. And he's like, "Yeah, up yours. I'll do whatever I want." And he hangs up on him and goes in there, and he gets killed, we find out. Because of his 2 dimensions, you can't survive, I guess. So Isaac's like, "Oh, yeah, he said this and this and that." Because he's like, "Bloggity, bloggity, bloggity," or something like that. And he goes, "My name is Barber Furkermerker." And then the redheaded guy goes, "Dang, there's a lot of Barber Furkermerkers in that race." It's a joke. So it was pretty funny. The jokes in here are more natural. They don't seem forced like they did in the first 2 episodes. So yeah, that Farker-Merker alien goes in that whatever anomaly, and his ship comes out all fucked up. It goes in and comes out like 2 seconds later, and it's dead, a dead ship. So they're going to take a shuttle and board the ship. They're just doing their space duties. They're doing the Star Trek duties of the galaxy. So yeah, they're getting on the ship, and it doesn't have no power, and it's real dark. And they took the doctor and whatnot, and they find the guy dead. How dead? Extremely dead. He's not semi-dead like in Stargate. He's very dead. Oh yeah, and they find a big box of guns. They're like krill weapons. Alara's holding it there. She plops it down like it's a box of donuts. And they open it up and find guns. And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here. The krill are going to come look for this," because he was delivering them to him. He was like an arms dealer. And now they're going to want to know where the fuck they're at. And their ship also, the Orville, is damaged. It's not flying because that anomaly screwed up their engines. That's a running joke now. That guy goes by and Ed doesn't know his name. And he goes like, "Hey, you, how you doing?" There you are. You know how people do that. And so that's going to be the new running joke probably for a couple of episodes. This is where Yaphet comes in and says, "You are being prejudiced against me. You treating me badly because I'm a gelatinous life form, and you're overpassing me for the promotion." And Ed's like, "Oh, I have a lot of gelatinous life form friends." So meanwhile, Lamar's in charge of this. I think he's going to be chief engineer, but they're putting him into engineering. That's his team right there, and he's going like, "I don't want to lead this team. I'm not a leader. I'm a follower." And his buddy there, Malloy's like, "Give him gumballs and tell him to tell you something nice about themselves." So he tries that. He says, "How you doing? Everybody take a gumball and tell me something exciting about your life." So we get to know each other. They're making this guy's character expanded, just like I predicted. Yep. And they're also the gelatinous guy is getting expanded. And I saw a couple of other characters walking around I'd never seen before, and they're expanding them too. I mean, they've got to. It's awesome. Star Trek Discovery is not expanding the roles of the people on the bridge. They just show them and show them and show them. But here, Orville's doing a great job. Seth MacFarlane's a genius. I didn't know he could sing. He drew the cartoons for the Family Guy. He does all the voices for the Family Guy. I've been doing research on him lately, and he's awesomely talented. And so is my wife, by the way. She's an artist, and she doesn't do imitations though. But anyway, I'll get back to that later. I'm really impressed with Seth MacFarlane's talent and how he started the Family Guy when he was like 19. He was awesome. So yeah, there's Mr. Awesome right now. So he tells Yaphet, "No, it'll be fine. I'm not passing you up." And meanwhile, Yaphet's under Lamar's control, under his command, and they're working on how to deal with this two-dimensional space. Lamar gets an idea. We could put a bubble around the ship. It's more than a shield. It's like a dimensional bubble, a warp drive bubble, basically. Oh yeah, and Yaphet tells him we can hook the the quantum drive engine into there to help accentuate it and make it strong. That's what they always did to Star Trek: The Next Generation. They would hook the warp drive into the deflector to make it stronger. Same theory, basically. So they're going to go into the rift themselves. The Krill just arrived, and they just went into the rift with a bubble around them, and they could survive for a while. So they're in there, and they're looking at the rift, and here it is. This is inside the other dimension. It's a two-dimension space, but they're a three-dimension being in there with the shield around them. That reminds me of the Aurora Borealis, and also it reminds me of that movie Tron. When the CGI first came out, not even CGI, just computer graphics, they made a movie called Tron like 30 years ago. Looked just like that. So the Orville's in there traveling through. It's pretty cool. It's like really nice, and I would just say romantic. And Kelly and Ed's relationship is getting fixed, except Ed found out she got me the job as the captain, so now it's not fixed. It's like drama, push and pull. They got to have some conflict somewhere. So that's the conflict for this episode. So the main plot is they're going into this two-dimensional rift. Lamar is smart. They give him command. Ed doubts himself because he doesn't know if he's really qualified to be captain because Kelly helped him get the job as captain. And Yaphet's pissed off. So at least 3 stories going on. And I think they did a good job blending them together. I mean, the season is a really short season. 12 episodes? Come on. We need a good 20 episodes a season. Come on, Seth MacFarlane, you talented motherfucker. Whip out some more episodes next year, please. So anyway, that they show the outside these next few minutes because that's where they're at, and it blends in real good. I don't remember the Next Generation ever doing an episode where they would show the outside like that. Of course, it's really beautiful if you look at it. I liked it. It was nice. Me and my wife really enjoyed this episode. We enjoyed every episode of the Orville. I can't think of one we didn't enjoy, to be honest with you. And every one has gotten better and better. And we've gotten into we're accustomed to the characters. We love all the characters. We're adjusted to the story. Right away, we're accepting. It's very awesome. They did a great job with this show. I think they should get some Emmys. I'm serious. So let's see here. Everybody's sick because that shield's not holding up, and they're starting to get nosebleeds and shit. So they're going to reinforce it. That's when Yaphet tells them to reinforce it with the shields, I think. And they're going to have to leave there in just a second. And I think they don't have any confrontation with the Krill. Oh, yeah, here's what they do. They take that shuttle, and Lamar, Isaac, and the gelatinous life form, I think they all go in the shuttle. They're going to the ship doesn't have any power, so they got to get out of that rift in like 2 minutes. So they're going to take the shuttle and tow the ship out of the rift, and they're going to create a static field around the shuttle. I want to say static warp field, but yeah, it's not that, but it's the same thing. So the shuttle gets in front of that ship, goes out there in the 2 dimensions, and there it is right now. It's flat. That was pretty cool. And so it's going out in front of the ship to hook up a tractor beam and to take it out of the rift. And Lamar's puking and shit. And right before this, he goes, "You might want to hold on to something. It might make you nauseous." But yeah, he's the one that got sick. So Isaac's doing all the computerization work, and they're working together here. Captain Mercer went with Lamar because he, basically gave him the command position, so he wanted to take responsibility. These are pictures of the shuttle putting a tractor beam on it in the 2 dimensions with all the warp fields around them, and they pull them out, and they're almost not going to make it in time. So Captain Mercer goes, "I'm going to go to quantum drive, engage the quantum drives." And so they speed up as fast as possible. And Lamar says, "I don't think we should do that because we have to, or we're not going to survive in here anyway." So they punch it, and they get out of there. And Lamar's feeling like, yes, I've accomplished something good, and it's been quite nice. This is about the end of the episode. They're going to get out of there. Everything's going to be fine. Now, on episode 12, they're going to go into another universe, and I thought it was going to be a 2-part continuation, but no. This is a self-contained episode, but next week might be some kind of cliffhanger. And I have a feeling that Patrick Stewart is going to come out in next week's episode. Been reading a lot of stuff online, and I have a strong feeling that Patrick Stewart or somebody major from Star Trek is going to be in next week's season finale. That's what I believe. Okay, well, what did you think of this episode? Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting content. Their nose are bleeding real bad. I'm going to put a lot of content for the next few months where we don't have nothing to watch. I'm thinking about putting some Seth MacFarlane Family Guy content on here, like the Star Trek episodes, that kind of thing. Anything interesting I can figure out, I'm going to put it on my webpage. So subscribe and comment, and let me know what you think of the Orville. This is Trek Genius. Oh, you know what? Ed and Kelly are going to get back together in the next episode. The next episode, Ed and Kelly rekindle their relationship, but they crash on a planet in another universe, and Kelly does something on that planet in the other universe which causes destruction to that universe, like Prime Directive shit. Okay, that's it. They kissed her. They're fixing their relationship just as I predicted. And Lamar, yeah, you're a genius. We all know that's it. That's about the end of the episode. Trek Genius over and out. I love this show. All right.
Wait, before you click away, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me. Well, not really, but it means a lot to someone, I'm sure. Also, if you like what you just watched, you can see even more content on the Fox Now app. Don't say I ever gave you nothing.